Welcome to the lab. My name's Corey. In this video, we're making some Tealight Bonfires. Alright. So I've been wanting to make these for a long time. And it's winter, and we just had our big first snow. So that's it. That's my excuse. That's why I made these things. Because they remind me of warm, and I wanted that. And I thought it'd be fun to have a little bit of lighting. This is the first piece that I've built that actually has lighting inside. So I plan on using some more of these as long as I can get them for pretty cheap. I bought some cheap tea light candles, and I put these together. There's really not anything special. No big reason why I made this video. It was just an urge to craft, so I did. So I guess let me get into how I made these. Alright, here are the essentials that I use for this craft. I start by making a base. I cut out, I just used the lid of a mason jar, drew a circle, and cut out a circular base that I'm going to mount the tea light to, and then build on top of so that the bonfire is sturdy. Then I actually cut out a hole for the tea light because I need to be able to access the switch on the bottom. Getting tea lights with switches are key here. They have the ones that you have to twist to turn on. They may not work as well for a project like this. Then you cut out the circle in the middle of the base, put the tea light in, and then grab that hot glue and just go around the edge of the tea light on top of the base so that it sits flat on the table, and just seal it in place. And then you make your wood. So for this tea light, I like the look of 3-inch long planks or logs or whatever you want to call them. I made them look like planks. It's just easy. You could also go out and just find some sticks, but I had foam scraps, so I used it. Just used the wire brush method to give it the grain, and then I cut those pieces into the 8 pieces of planking that I needed, making sure that all sides got wire brushed. Then you just use your hot glue and mount it to the base. I attach it to both the base and the tea light. That way there's, it's adhered on multiple points of contact. And even in the end, by the time I glue the foam in place, Alright, and then I glue on chunks of foam that I'm ripping out to make it look like stone. But yeah, even the tips of those logs will end up glued together when I put the glue on the cotton in order to harden it. That's what I was trying to say. And this step as well. I put Mod Podge over all the foam so that it's a little tougher. I don't want it to be dinged up or to break on me. So, anything to harden it up. Then I make sure to use some black paint to blacken out the edges of that white tea light and what cardboard is still poking through there on the bottom. Just want to make sure it's nice and dark inside so that the light is the main thing that's coming out from inside. You want the rest of it to fade away, besides the logs and the stone, of course. Painted the bottom black. Don't really need to do that. I did it just because I had the black paint out. And then you do whatever painting you want to make it look however you want. I obviously painted the chunks of stone around the ring there for the fireplace to look like stone. So I started with a dark gray. And the next thing, I used a golden brown on the wood. It's okay, the gray paint was still wet, so some of that gray got on the log. Whatever, it's fine. Then I continued my basic stone method. Dry brush some gray, dry brush some vanilla. Makes the foam look like stone. I mean, it's really not hard. Really sloppy with it. Get some dry brushing on the wood as well. And then you go through and add in a wash. I have a dark brown wash that I add on top of the golden paint. And hey, look, lo and behold, seeps into the cracks, makes it look like wood. Then I use a black wash with a bit of brown in it for the stone. Darkens them up, gets in those crevices, give it better definition. Highlighted them again. And then you tease out some cotton balls to really, really thin, barely held together pieces. And then I tuck those in so that the light can still poke through. Up in between the cracks of all the wooden planks that I made. And it looks like it's smoke coming out. I would have had more pieces coming out, but in the next step here, where I coat it in some glue, first I sprayed it with some alcohol so that everything would seep in. But then I sprayed down some glue, and you can see it clumps it right up, and then it creates sheets of glue. And that was it. These are pretty simple. I put both of these together in 3 hours, I think, total, from scratch, including paint. Didn't take long at all. I made 2, obviously. The first one I made, I can't even tell you which one is the first one that I made, but the first one I made, I used to see if my idea on how to make these worked out. I've seen other people make very similar stuff, but I didn't look up how they did it. I just figured it was easy, and it was. I figured this one out myself. This Tealight was a little finicky, so I did not put in all of the cotton to make it look like smoke. Plus, it helps me illustrate how different they look, so you can see whether or not you want to put the cotton in there. I personally enjoy the cotton look. It hides the Tealight candle, but from, 2 foot back, make sure it's zoomed out, you'll see it doesn't really matter too much. Like that, I prefer this look. Maybe I put a little too much cotton in there. So I tried to keep the cotton thin, but the glue thickened it back up, because I sprayed some glue on here to toughen this up to keep it in shape so it wouldn't come fraying out of here. And it looks fine. You can still see the lighting on the inside, but it definitely made it thicker. So just know that going into it. I'm tempted to put more cotton in this one as well and not put the glue on it, but might make it hard to clean. I don't know. Either way, I love them both. As you can see, I got this Tealight to work, so I'll modify it now, but I left the cotton out of it so that you could see the difference in case you wanted to add in fake smoke or not. Definitely recommend at least blackening out the Tealight though, as you can see that I did there. Well, for the most part, I didn't fully blacken out the bottom, but yeah. So. That's it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other fun uses for Tealights, leave them in a comment below. I'd love to make more things with this. I definitely want to need to get back into making larger, more complex structures, because I want to use a Tealight for a fireplace in a couple of houses. Light them from the inside. Otherwise, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more fun stuff, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell so you can see my future videos. And I'll see you in the next one. Don't forget, experiment with your hobby.